Hello, this is Carrie, and welcome to my vlogs once again, and, well, now we are getting down to it. So, this is pretty much the point at which I am going to have to make the most important decision of my life. And that decision is whether I interview for new jobs as a girl, or whether I keep interview for yet another job still in hiding and still in transition, waiting for my hair to grow out and waiting for me to get more comfortable. I wish I had more time. I really do, because frankly I do not feel completely comfortable with my girl mode yet. This that I am in right now is a brand new form of this girl mode that I just started dressing in like maybe a week and a half ago. And it was basically because when I did that one presentation check video where I was recording myself from the back, I noticed, I actually think I look female enough to just be accepted. And so I started going out like that. But unfortunately, the luster from that video where I felt so good about myself has not really lasted. So, now my mind is just like a complete mess in terms of figuring out what I want to do, figuring out where I'm going to go from here, figuring out whether I really do look passable enough to just interview for jobs as a girl and go in that way and expect acceptance. So that's why I'm making this video, is just to get some of these thoughts out, alright? So the first main thought is, am I passable enough? And it feels like I'm kind of at a block mentally, where I have not had any bad experiences going out in this presentation. And, basically, it's kind of like my work presentation. I feel like the wig, I feel like I stand out too much with that, and I feel like it highlights the masculine features of me a bit too much, where, this I feel more comfortable with, because it's more toned down. I have a couple of blatantly female things, like, I have my hair in a ponytail kind of in the middle of the back of my head, which is more female, and dangly earrings are kind of the key to this, because it draws the attention to the middle of my face, where, I have my most feminine facial features, I believe, my lips and, the little tip of my nose and my cheeks, where I still have issues with my chin and my, forehead and this bump here at the top of my nose and other stuff. So, it's kind of a battle, though. It's like, when I look in the mirror, I can still see my own male features perfectly fine, pretty much, Usually when I look in the mirror, I see a girl, but I'm afraid that I look blatantly trans, and I'm afraid that people are just going to be clocking me as soon as they see me. External evidence has not supported this, though, On days where I just don't worry about, it's kind of weird. On days where I'm nervous and I feel uptight, people always stare at me, where on days where I'm just, feeling naturally feminine, nobody seems to notice me. So, it feels like a delicate balance. It feels like, my confidence is still on and off. There's some days where I feel like I could take on the world and do anything, and there's other days where I feel like, well, I don't know, I don't see it today. People are going to be staring at me, and I'm afraid. So, that's the question, is, am I ready for full time? Am I really ready to just, basically announce to the world that, I'm not going to let my own feelings of inadequacy stop me, and I'm going to be a girl no matter what. And, I do just still constantly have feelings of inadequacy, especially with my voice. Like, women are just so dynamic with their voices. It's like, today I was talking to a woman at the checkout line and at Aldi, and, I think, I wish I hadn't worn this sweater. It's too hot in here. She's like, yeah, I know. It's like, yeah, and it's like just the pitch variation and the dynamics. And, I can imitate it just fine, but, when I start talking for long periods of time, my voice just slips right back down into this fundamentally lower range that sounds very male. And especially since I'm going to be applying for tech support jobs where I'm going to be on the phones, I feel like this is going to be an issue. Like right now, my voice is already getting tired because I'm trying to push it up into my mouth and, you know, try to be more dynamic with it, try to do the female thing, but it's hard. And, you know, that's the thing, is I keep catching myself falling back into, you know, just male habits. And so, you know, I feel like I'm kind of lacking a bit of the socialization and lacking the, you know, natural bit of the voice. And, so, you know, I feel inadequate. And, you know, I feel like I might have a hard time, you know, blending in with cis women. Because, you know, every time I compare myself to them, it's blatantly obvious to me that, you know, there's things about me that are not feminine. So, you know, I'm admittedly afraid of acceptance. And, you know, I'm afraid of kind of getting that standoffish behavior where they're like, okay, well, I know you're trying to be a woman, but it's pretty obvious. So that's what I'm afraid of. And then also, you know, my mind has kind of been, as I've been thinking about going full-time, my mind has just gone into freak-out mode, where it is like scrambling, trying to find all of these excuses for why I'm not ready. So, you know, like, my mind will be like, you know, when I first wake up in the morning, it'll be like, oh my God, are you really, you know, you, a girl? Seriously? And, you know, it'll just try to kind of sabotage my mindset and try to, you know, it's almost like going into bargaining mode, trying to save itself. It's like, you don't really have to do this. What if you just do this? And what if you just do this? And then without fail, as soon as I go out in public, I immediately find myself falling back into the same things that I always do, where if I'm out as a guy, I start hating my reflection, I start feeling inadequate, and I never get the validation to make me feel otherwise, so I end up feeling like crap. Where when I am out in girl mode, I still feel inadequate, but I have enough validating experiences where people seem to, you know, I'm actually kind of surprised that people don't seem to notice, you know, and I'll talk about that in a moment, but, you know, and I get those validating experiences that, you know, tell me it's all right, you can calm down, you can relax, people see you as a girl, you don't have to worry, chill, and I'll just breathe and feel content. And, you know, I definitely, you know, do like my appearance in girl mode way better. I have always hated my appearance in guy mode, you know. There's never been a time that I've looked in the mirror and seen a guy and been happy. Never. So, you know, girl mode admittedly is an improvement mentally, but it's still just my mind kind of having a hard time accepting that as being me. It's different when you can just decide whether you are going to go out in guy mode or girl mode based on whims. And, you know, there's a lot of days where I feel too inadequate, and I end up just, you know, sitting in bed and kind of commiserating, and I'm like, I don't feel good enough today. I'm just not confident enough. And it's okay. Where full-time, you cannot do that. You have to go out in girl mode no matter what, because that is legally what you are. So that scares me too. And you know, the worst part of this is I know these fears are unfounded. Everybody who has seen my videos and seen my pictures and seen me in person recently has told me, you are really worrying about nothing. And you know, every experience that I've had has proved that. Like, every time I go out shopping and, you know, people gender me female. I have not been gendered male ever since I started doing this presentation with the earrings and the ponytail. I have not been gendered male once. And I've been gendered female like 7, 8 times at least. And, you know, it's not like a man, maybe. It's just very definitively, you know, female genderings. And also, there has not been a single time where I have had to reveal my legal name to people, like, you know, when they were asking, like at the pharmacy, when they were asking me, okay, and what's the name on this prescription? I had to say, Charles. You know, immediately the tone of voice of the people changes. And, you know, where they were being very open to me, and they were like, hi, how are you doing? I hope you're having a good afternoon. All of a sudden they're like, oh, okay, well, here's your prescription. And you can tell that, you know, they couldn't tell. And all of a sudden they found out, oh my gosh, this person still has a male name. And, you know, so, you know, and people suddenly get standoffish. So that to me says that people aren't necessarily able to tell that I'm trans. Not everybody. I mean, I am still getting stares from people, but, you know, in my mind, whenever I get stares, I immediately assume, oh God, it's because they can tell that I'm trans. There's no other explanation. Where other people are telling me, you know, it could just be because they think you're attractive. But, again, it's hard to make that mental leap to actually seeing yourself as being female rather than just dressing up as female and, hey, it's fun to do now and then, and experience what it's like to be accepted as a girl, where suddenly it becomes, holy crap, if I do this, it's not just a dream anymore. I actually am female. So it's hard to make that mental jump. And, you know, so it's almost like my mind just refuses to believe all of this experience that I have. Because I've had, you know, I've started going out on days where I don't feel good about myself. I used to only go out on days where I felt great about myself. And even on those bad days, people are still gendering me female. So, you know, it's almost like there's a disconnect in my mind where I refuse to believe it. And so, you know, these are just things that I'm worried about in regards to going full-time. And, you know, I'm afraid that I'll get sick of it. I'm afraid that my inadequacies will eventually get the better of me, and I'll just have such a bad day that I'll be like, screw it, it's never going to work, and flip out. And, you know, but on the other hand, I have now lost 2 jobs in a row as someone who is in transition and presenting as male in the meantime. So that clearly doesn't work. Again, as soon as I leave the house in guy mode, I immediately start feeling like crap and wishing that I could be being gendered female. And, you know, those feelings are still there in girl mode, but the validation from other people gets my self-critical mind to shut up. So, you know, again, I really wish I had more time to feel more comfortable, but at this point I really do feel like it's time for me to decide and to just at least try interviewing for jobs as a girl. So, you know, that's kind of the battle in front of me, is getting this to the point where it feels more natural and, you know, I'm just going out and being myself no matter what. Whew, it's scary. I will admit that. So, you know, if anybody else kind of had these mental blocks and this mind scrambling feeling before going full-time, I'm hoping that other people will tell me that it was unfounded and, you know, that it was just their fears running away with them. But, you know, it's hard not to be scared when you're doing something this drastic. I mean, for God's sakes. I mean, whew. It's hard to wrap my mind around sometimes that I am really going to be going by a female name permanently, and I'm actually going to legally, for all practical purposes, be the same as anyone who was born female and went through a girlhood. So, you know, whew, hard to wrap my mind around. But, you know, currently the plan is to just interview for jobs as a girl, and I really don't. Again, every time I go out as a guy, it just feels wrong now. So, despite how scared I am, it's just something that I guess I have to do. So, wish me luck. And I really hope that I really can blend in. And again, the voice scares me. My voice is just getting so tired right now. And I know it's slipping back down into the middle of my throat instead of up in my head where it needs to be. I have to work on keeping it up here. Like, I almost have to keep my arm pointed up here so I can remember to push it up and push it forward. I've got so much work to do on this. Ugh. I got a meeting with my therapist next week where I'll hopefully talk about this and sort it out more, but yeah. Pretty scary. Wish me luck. Bye, all you beautiful people out there. Thank you for watching, as always. Bye.